All right, guys, I'm going to do a series of short videos here talking about the other different types of estate planning documents that should be in place to have a full and complete estate plan. Now, we talked about the biggies, which are the will and the trust. Okay, those are the big ones. These are all supplemental and can sometimes be included or be part of those other ones. But all of these items are covered when you get an estate plan. Okay, so I'm going to talk through these one by one really quickly and concisely in a series of quick videos. So here we go. Number one, guardianship nomination. You have children or you have dependents that are minors, okay, that you're guardian of. If you were to pass away, let's say you and your spouse pass away, what happens to them? What happens to them is the court, the state, right? They have a court and they appoint guardians. That's it. They get to decide who raises your children, who takes care of them. You might like who they decide, you might not, but they get to decide ultimately. So what guardianship nomination is it bypasses that and says, hey, I'm deciding who is going to raise my children till they're adults. So it's a document that just says who that person is or people. So that could be a sibling, that could be grandparents, that could be close friends, whoever it is, you get to list them in this document. Now, what's important to know is when you appoint somebody to be the guardian, along with all of these other things, right? If you list somebody as a trustee, as an executor of your will, as a guardian, as an agent, and these other documents, you need to talk to them first, okay? These are not things you want to be surprises. You pass away and it's like, hey, surprise, you get to take care of my 3 kids. That's not the time for this. Surprises are great, not in this case. So have a conversation with them, make sure it's okay. And make sure you get their permission before you list them in there. Okay, you can also nominate backup guardians in case the first ones at that time are incapacitated or aren't able to or whatever. So you can list a backup nomination. So one important thing to realize here is though the guardians, right, they have the burden of raising your children. So they might double the amount of kids they have or whatever, things that they didn't plan on, but they said they're willing to do that. So that's great. But that can be expensive, right? Adding a number of additional children gets pricey. And so they don't bear the financial brunt of raising your children. That's where the trust can come in and your other assets. Because you're smart and you planned ahead, you have assets already set aside in the trust. And the trustee, it typically gives permission for them to disperse assets from the trust as needed to take care of the beneficiaries, right? The minor children. So they would just they might send a quarterly check or a monthly check or an annual check to the guardian to provide for all of the costs and expenses of your children. Now, an important note, the guardian may not be the same person that is the trustee of the trust. It could be, there's nothing wrong with it, but it might be different. They require different skill sets. The trustee has to deal with a lot of financial matters. They have to make good decisions. They're going to end up deciding what to do with investments and financial assets. So you might want somebody that you trust to handle that type of thing. For the children, you might want somebody that's going to give them the type of environment you want, be the type of parent that you would most closely want, give them the type of lifestyle that you would most closely want for them. Those are different characteristics. So it could be the same person, could be separate people, but it doesn't matter. Either way, financially, your children will be taken care of by the trustee and the trust and your other assets, and then raised and cared for emotionally by the guardians. All right, that wraps up guardianship nomination. Let's move on to the next.
Protect your future. Protect your family.